All right, let's go ahead and get into this. This is episode 234 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. I appreciate you guys once again coming through. Normally, when this thing is live, it's going to be a little bit different from what it is when I put it up on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play. So if you are listening over there, there's some things that are going to be changed a little bit, but nevertheless, all the content is going to be out in the forefront. And I appreciate everybody who has been watching, people who have been supporting. You guys are excellent. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome, and it's time to do another show. And today, what's going on, Game of Champ? Good to see you in the chat. Today, we're going to be talking about NFL training camp, what's been going on with training camp. It's just now starting, and a little bit of mix up with some things when it comes to this whole situation with their health. I'm not going to get into much of that, but I want to talk, kind of piggyback on what I did last week when I was talking about the teams itself, because I think the whole situation with the medical history and if they're getting the shot or not is pretty much a distraction or whatever the case may be. And I don't want to I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. It's too easy to go down that way and be distracted from what's really in my opinion the catalyst of this show is talking about the actual sport. So we're going to get into training camp, talk about my Falcons, what they're going to do as far as training camp, who is going to possibly vie for positions or whatever the case may be. Whatever team you guys want to talk about as well, you can add that in the chat, or at when the time comes, you can call into the show and actually voice your opinion about the show or whatever, about your team or whatever. That number to call is 803-767-4242. I will be taking calls after I get through the entire plethora of things I want to talk about. Most of the stuff I want to talk about, like I said, the NFL training camp. I want to talk about Madden football, the franchise mode. I told myself I was not going to talk about Madden for too much, but it's gotten to the point where people wanted my opinion about it. People want to know how I feel about it and what everything that entails when it comes to Madden franchise mode. So it looks like it's been a lot of improvements. I did read up a good bit on it for the past few days, because for the most part, I just been wanting to stay away from the whole situation with Madden. My main thing is I just wanted to just play the game when it comes out and enjoy myself, because everybody know around this time of the year it gets a little out of hand with everybody fussing and fighting over social media about the game, and people making videos about the game and how much they like or dislike it. And it after a while it does get a little old. So therefore, this year I just said, you know what, I'm just going to play the game and I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm not going to get into too much when it comes to that. Also, I want to talk about the SEC. Texas and Oklahoma possibly going to the SEC, so that's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. The whole shakeup of college football is going to happen, because this is not the only two teams that are going to be just changing the guard when it comes to moving to moving over to the SEC. So therefore, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens within the next 6 months to a year, because there are going to be more teams moving. I will say more around to the year, because I don't think it's going to be too many more moves probably before the season starts. Maybe, but the finalization of the teams moving is probably going to be around, a couple of years from now. But definitely, once you see how everything plays out by the end of the season, you're going to see more teams possibly moving. So that's going to be a thing to watch out for. I want to change that because my typo was wrong in the ticker. Pooh, what's going on? Thank you for being in the chat. Also, this is a live stream on YouTube. But if you're listening on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, or whatever the case may be, there are people in the chat that I will be responding to from time to time. He wanted to know my thoughts on Stream Deck. That is on my other channel, the VF Cast. I talked about that on that channel. So most of the gaming stuff that's outside of sports gaming will be over there. So I talked about that already. If you want to go check that out, VFcast, you can just type that in. It'll pop right on up. Subscribe to that channel as well, because that's where I do most of the regular gaming stuff over there. So I'll talk about that. Let's get into let's see what we'll talk about first. Let's talk about NFL training camp. Let's go ahead and talk about that first. NFL training camp is about to start. I think Dallas has already started. I think whoever playing against Dallas in the Hall of Fame game, I think they start. Usually the teams that do the Hall of Fame game usually starts first, and they start training camp first. And it's going to be interesting to see what Dallas has, because Dallas has a lot of talent, and I doubt that you're going to see much of that talent on the field. But with that being said, my main thing about preseason Hall of Fame game, or whatever the case may be, is the Hall of Fame game. Well, the talent that is not necessarily is not going to show unless you have somebody that stands out. That's why I will show that the talent really shines, because you're gonna have a lot of backups, third stringers, maybe some guys who want to make a name for themselves on the practice squad, guys who want to make a name for themselves through special teams, who can be a guy that can play on special teams. A lot of guys who get on the team start out on special teams, and they make a name for themselves to possibly keep a full-fledged career just being a special team type of guy. So just be on the lookout for a lot of that stuff. I'm going to be looking into those things when I watch the game as well. Let's see. I'm gonna get my ducks in a row when I find out who's playing. I know Dallas is playing, and it looks like Dallas is going to be playing not the Patriots, not the Panthers. Who's playing in the Hall of Fame game? Pittsburgh Steelers. I should have known that. Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be playing Dallas. So that's going to be another thing. Will Ben Roethlisberger play? Will Dwayne Haskins play a good bit of that game? Because, a lot of things that he's what's going on with him off the field is pretty interesting. And see how he will pan out when it comes to him actually playing. I'm looking at it from a situation where he should be fine. I mean, that was a situation that was kind of weird with him and his wife, but I don't think that should hinder him from playing or whatever the case may be. So he should be okay overall when it comes to him playing. Other players that you want to see, Najee Harris, is he going to play? That's going to be interesting to see. I see him playing probably a few snaps. Maybe he'll play like just like with Ben Roethlisberger, probably play like a series or two, and they'll to put him out for the rest of the game. You probably see a lot of Benny Snell. He may play a little bit, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays. Claypool's not going to play much. CeeDee Lamb, I don't see him playing much. On Dallas side, Keanu O'Neal. You have a couple other guys that are over there. Vander Esch. I mean, like, you got a lot of guys that's going to play, and I want to see the talent that's going to be the third stringers, because I love seeing guys who try to make a name for themselves in the league when they're just trying to just solidify a spot. I think that's the most exciting thing to me about that's the most exciting thing to me when it comes to the preseason. When it comes to my Falcons, I talked about this already when it comes to guys like Richie Grant, Kyle Pitts. I think they already solidified their way on the field. Starters, definitely Kyle Pitts going to start. Richie Grant, I don't see too much of him starting yet, because I just made a video about that with Daron Harmon and Eric Harris. I don't know how that's going to play out, because those are two veterans. Harris did not show a good showing last season with the Raiders, but Daron Harmon looked like he's ready to go. And Daron Harmon said he's willing to move anywhere on the field to be on the field. Richie Grant, he's a rookie. I would like to see him out there right away, but with the way things play out, I would not be surprised if he's not going to be there right away. So I'm going to be interested to see how that plays out when it comes to that. When it comes to the offensive lineman, Mayfield, I would like to see Jalen Mayfield out there. Defensive line, Taquan Graham. I want to see him do some things. Also, I want to see Marlon Davidson play. We didn't see much of him last year, and I thought he was going to be spectacular for the team. He did not play much. So I would like to see him get some play as well A lot of things, a lot of moving and shaking. Running backs, definitely in the running backs, because I mean we pretty much gutted everything out in the running backs. We don't have Todd Gurley anymore. Whatever the case may be, we don't have what's his name, Edo Smith. We don't have him anymore, and we have Mike Davis now. We have Jalen Hawkins. We have Cordell Patterson. He's a wide receiver, but he does play running back. Quadri Allison. We have a lot of guys in the backfield that could possibly be productive, and I want to see how that plays out as well because I don't even know what type of running scheme we're going to be running because we have a scat back. We got a guy who can break tackles. We got a guy who can catch. We got another guy who's balanced. Got a couple guys got breakaway speed. So we all know what Arthur Smith was doing at Tennessee. He was all about the running game and with Derrick Henry. Now, even though we have Mike Davis, who is he was number one in broke tackles last year, believe it or not. We don't know if they're going to be running that same style of running game. We just don't know. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. As far as the receivers, no more Julio Jones. He's going. Calvin Ridley did have surgery on his foot, but he should be fine and ready to go. Also, we have Russell Gage, which is, I think Russell Gage is better than advertised. I think he's going to be pretty good. It's going to be really nice to see him out there. Also, we got Tajay Sharp, which never got the chance to really show what he can do. So it's going to be different. It's going to be a different look when it comes to what these guys are going to do in the passing game, because it's just, for me, you always know what you was going to get when it came to the passing game prior. You had Julio Jones, you had Calvin Ridley, you had Russell Gage, you had Zacchaeus. He's another one that's out there that can play. And it's just that now we're looking at a situation with the whole shakeup of the passing game. You have Kyle Pitts, and I didn't even talk about Hayden Hurst yet. A couple guys could catch out the backfield as well. So now we're looking at a situation where the ball could be really distributed all over the place. It could be really interesting to see what happens with the offense. I don't think this team is going to be a 4-12 team. I think this team is going to be a lot better than advertised, especially with the way the conference is set up. Everybody pretty much got somewhat better. I can't necessarily say the Bucs got better because, like I said, they brought all their offense back. So to me, is more of the same. So I don't know how that dynamic is going to play if they get better. But you see the Saints kind of step back a little bit. But I will say that when you have a coach like the Saints have, anything's possible. And Jameis got his eyesight back, so he may be better as advertised as well. So it's going to be interesting. One other note about that, Michael Thomas did get injured, and he may be out for the first few weeks of the season. Also, one of the defensive linemen got suspended for the first couple of weeks, I think first 6 weeks, for substance abuse policy. He went against that. So I don't know what to think now when we really think did the Saints get better. I don't know. There's also talk about Brian Poole, the former Falcon, going down to the Saints, playing for them. I don't know how much that's going to help. Brian Poole is a really good mentor and a leader, so it would be interesting to see. But I don't know how that's going to play out. The Panthers. I talked about the Panthers last week as well. With them getting Sam Darnold is an upgrade, in my opinion, tremendously. I think it's a big upgrade. And for them, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a little bit better for them. So not much else to speak on the Panthers. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. But I think the biggest moves was with the Falcons easily. New GM, new coach. We moved Julio. People are going to say we stepped back, but I think we're going to be just fine in the passing game. A lot of running backs have been put in place. The defense have been a lot of plugins with defense. I think the Falcons is going to be a little bit better than people think, if not a lot. Let's go around the NFL a little bit. I know last week I said I was going to go into the AFC this week, so we can go touch on the AFC as well. You know, with the AFC, it all starts with the Chiefs. You know the Chiefs are going to be right there ready to play again, ready to do their thing. So not much to really speak on there. I just think they're going to be ready to go. You look at a team like the Colts. The Colts is another team that's looking really good. Carson Wentz, they already had a pretty good defense and an offensive line. The running back is highly underrated, and their running back, their entire running back core is highly underrated. So I think the Colts in the AFC could make a really good run at the AFC title. Be on the lookout for them. The Chiefs obviously are the favorites, but when you look at a team like the Colts, they do have all the weapons that you will want. If I could say anything that's a weakness, I would say tight end, but that's not a weakness because they can do with Carson Wentz. They can distribute the ball pretty well. One more thing I will say about the Colts. The only thing that I've always had this issue is if Carson Wentz stay healthy. And I know it's been somewhat of a ragging joke on this on the show, on the past podcast with me, Bills, and DJ. We always talked about Wentz's health. I don't think it's that big of an issue. I think we over exaggerated it a little bit, but it all pretty much it does hinge on him, because at the end of the day, if you do go with the backup, I think Brissett is still the backup. I don't think you're going to go very far with that mechanism. I don't think you're going to go very far. So with that being said, I think having Wentz on the field is definitely a big deal. And I think they're going to be really good, to be honest. Another team that I'm looking out for, when you look at the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills and the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins, but I don't trust Tua. It's just something about that kid is just not speak NFL quarterback to me. I don't know. Maybe he could prove me wrong, but from what I see, I just don't see it. I'm not really sure. Is it something that I don't know? Please let me know, because I'm willing to let you guys speak on it. Call in 803-767-4242. Pretty sure, yeah, that's the number. I think I did the number wrong last. I think it said 762 last week. I do apologize for that. It was an error on my fault. When it comes to the Bills, Buffalo Bills, the Buffalo Bills are pretty much they're ready. I think they're ready to take that step. Josh Allen stepped up big time. I was a believer in him ever since he came into the league. I was a big fan of him, and I think he's going to be I think he's definitely going to be that guy when it comes to being MVP caliber. He's going to be that guy when it comes to actually being a top-notch quarterback in this league. I think he showed that he can do it. As far as everybody else around him, they end up getting Stephon Diggs. That's going to be a big help. And it's going to be really good to see what happens with the Bills. The defenses have been pretty good. I think their running game has took a step back. That's one of the reasons why I thought they were going to try to get Najee Harris. But I don't think Harris fell to them. I think the Steelers picked them up before Harris was available. They fell to him before. Yeah, I think they fell. I think the Steelers picked them up first, so that wasn't going to be a no-go. And I'm just looking at the rest of the AFC East. You got the Jets and you got the Patriots. I have not much to say to either team. I would not be surprised if Cam Newton's not starting. I will say that. I would be highly surprised if Cam Newton's not starting. So that's going to be a thing for me if that's going to be the case. The Jets, they're just, the Jets are the Jets. They're just basically in a situation where they're definitely rebuilding. Yeah. What happened? Mommy downstairs? All right. Babe, watch K. He's coming downstairs. So I just got a situation with that was my son. Just got a situation where the Jets are just in a full rebuild mode. Full rebuild mode. So I don't know how that's going to play out. And we'll see how that plays out. Pooh said, because me and Bills both got dislikes for one of these QBs. I don't dislike Tua. I just don't think he's ready. I just don't think I don't have a dislike for him. I don't have a dislike for I don't have a dislike for him at all. Actually, it's just the thing that I just don't think Tua is ready. Who's more NFL material? I think Tua is more NFL material than Hurts, honestly. I think Hurts is a little bit raw around the edges. I still don't trust his arm. I don't know what it is about Tua. It's just with Tua, it just seems like something's not right, and I don't know what it is because 2 times last season he was put in the starting role and got pulled. So I don't know if it's I don't know if it's mental with Tua. I just don't think Hurts has the arm. I don't think his arm is ready for the NFL. Maybe he can show me different in the second year. Maybe he will. But from everything I've seen, even back in college, his arm was just okay. I don't think it was NFL. I think Tua has an NFL arm. I believe Tua has an NFL arm. I think he needs to work on a little bit of his accuracy, but I think his arm is there. I mean, he has a very strong arm and he can put the ball anywhere, but he just needs to know where to put it. So, with that being said, I feel that he needs to just learn how to pinpoint the ball. I just think Jalen Hurts in general, I just don't see where his arm is NFL ready. But we'll see. We'll definitely see how that goes. When it comes to the AFC South, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're in rebuild mode. They may surprise a few people. I'm looking at the Tennessee Titans to run away with that division though, because I don't see the Texans doing anything. And oh goodness, who's the third? Who's the other team? The Colts. Well, I take that back because the Colts is in that division as well. So let me see. I want to look at this because I want to look at the actual NFL. Let me look this up real quick because I want to make sure I get this right. Yeah, because you got the Colts in that division. So now I don't know. I still think that the Colts could take it, but I would not be surprised if the Titans do because the Titans do have a pretty solid team. The defense sucks. The defense is not that good, but their offense is on fire right now. You got Brown and Julio. You got Derrick Henry. You have a pretty good tight end set. You also going to get Tannehill out there, so it's going to be interesting to see. But I still think the Colts could take it. I don't know what the Texans are going to do. They just traded for another receiver from the Bears, but Deshaun Watson, is he playing? Even if he is, the team is still in shambles. I don't know where that's going to go and what it's going to play out. Also, you have that other rookie quarterback that came from Stanford. I think that kid is NFL ready. He's going to be really good. I would not be surprised if he'd be playing it as a starter in the next few years. I really wanted the Falcons to pick him up. I thought he was going to be really a big steal, but the Texans got him, and that is a really good pickup for them. Let's get back to the Jaguars for a minute. You got Trevor Lawrence. You have Etienne at running back. The wide receivers always been so-so. The defense, I don't know about the defense, whatever the case may be. Tim Tebow's at tight end. Man, listen, I'm not going to say this team is not going to win any games, but going into training camp, they're going to have a lot to work on. And I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be okay, but they have a lot to work on. And it's going to be something that's going to be something to watch for. Let's see what other teams that's going through training camp that's going to have some issues. Like the rest of the AFC West, like I say, you got the Chiefs, you got the Las Vegas Raiders, you got the Chargers, you got the Denver Broncos. Not much to report there so far. Not much that I've seen. Like I said, I think the Chiefs are going to run away with it. The Raiders always find a way to have the Chiefs number, so we're going to see how that plays out. The AFC North. Who's in the AFC North? Let me get that right. The AFC North. AFC North. You got the Ravens. You have the Bengals. You have the Steelers. and you have the Browns. That's going to be a fight. I think that's going to be a pretty good fight. And no telling who's going to win that division. I don't know what Ben Roethlisberger is going to do. The Ravens look like they're ready to go. Training camp for them is going to be pretty smooth. I'm pretty, no issues there. Lamar Jackson look like he's ready to go, or whatever the case may be. Also, you have um, J.K. Dobbins coming back. Patrick Queen on defense. Got Rashad Bateman at receiver. If you want to know more about I'm about to say Denver Broncos. If you want to know more about the Baltimore Ravens, you may want to go to Engraven's Vids channel. And Engraven does a phenomenal job on the Ravens, and he has more info that I can never think of. When it comes to the Steelers, once again, go to CMF Ball Critic channel. He does everything Steelers, and you get more information there. But I just don't know what Ben Roethlisberger is going to do at this late stage of his career. When it comes to the Browns has been talented for years, but let's see if they can get over the hump. They got a tough division they got to go through, so I don't know how that's going to play out. As far as that team, I mean, they picked up Takk McKinley. They got pretty good Jadeveon Clowney, Myles Garrett. The defensive line is pretty stacked. The defense, I mean, like that team in general they've always had a pretty good talent for the past few years, but they just can't do nothing with it. The running backs, Baker Mayfield, they look like they got everything in place, but just don't know how it's going to play out. But I just don't know how it plays. I just don't know. I'm just at a loss for words when I think about them. What's up, Sweet Jones? Thank you for coming through on the live stream. If you guys are listening to this on the side of the podcast, I do this live every Sunday at 10 a.m. where I talk about sports or football, and I talk about gaming. If you guys don't mind, hit the like button. Let people know what I'm doing over here. Go over there, share this live stream, so more people could come through, and we have more people talking in the chat. Also, if you want to call in, the number is 803-767-4242. You can talk about your team or whatever the case may be, what you think they're going to do when it comes to the actual when it comes to the actual preseason and the training camp. I'm going to switch over to Madden. We'll talk about Madden. Going to talk about franchise mode. I did say that I was not going to talk about Madden franchise mode, but I'm going to talk about it. A lot of people have been asking. A lot of people want to know what my thoughts on it. I've been taking a step back when it comes to Madden and the franchise mode itself, because it's just been too much fighting when it comes to Madden and what's this and what's that. So what I've done, I said I was going to fall back and just play the game once it releases. But since so many people asked already, they wanted to know. And I haven't been putting up enough sports gaming stuff on this channel, which that will change. I said I was going to talk about it. So here we go. If you guys don't mind, want to chime in, please let me know. There's a lot going on with Madden NFL 22 franchise. And I'm actually, no doubt I'm excited about it. I really am. Very excited about this, and I want to see how this all plays out when it comes to Madden. First and foremost, you got the franchise staff, inside coach and owner mode. Franchise staff is a new way to manage a franchise. So you're gonna have staff points where you can give points to your staff or whatever the case may be, and it helps them get better when it comes to being who they are on the team, as far as coordinators, whatever the case may be. You can upgrade them through the talent tree, which is the talent tree kind of similar to NCAA football 14, where you have a branch of things where you can upgrade people based on their characteristics and their role. And it's going to be pretty interesting on that. I'm not going to get into too much of this because it's a lot to dive into. Kudos to the Madden team for doing this. Staff movement, obviously, there's something that we've been wanting players, not players, but staff to move to different places. You can go ahead and move a coordinator here and there. Generated coaches will pop up throughout each year of the franchise, which is really interesting because now you can have somewhat of a generated coach that may be phenomenal, kind of similar to how it was when you generated draft classes. So you may have this player that shines or whatever the case may be. This was a big deal in college because in college you always had to recruit you always had to recruit fictional people that turned out to be amazing. I'm doing that right now in my NC State dynasty, so that is phenomenal. Scouting is a big deal. It's about time that has happened because the scouting in Madden has always been point and click basically, and it was not very informative. In some cases, it was just very bare bones. And now with the scouting, it's going to be really cool to see because you can go through the regions, you can go through different areas of the country to find players. That's going to be really cool. And they're going to do a live service update. So this is something that's still in the works. So they said that you're going to have to restart your franchise. It's good to know that they're actually being transparent about that, where you have to restart your franchise to actually, you got to restart your franchise to actually get that up and running. Because some cases in the past, they didn't do that. And it got to the point to where you did not know what was going on. And when an update came, you had to restart. And it was like, oh my God, why I have to restart? I was doing so good in my franchise. So that's definitely a plus. So it's good to see them doing that as well. All right, let me check out something real quick. All right, cool. All right, now let's get into the weekly strategy. Weekly strategy is where kind of somewhat what NFL 2K5 was doing. And they basically took that into consideration, which is a long overdue situation. And I'm glad it's actually being done, where you have the weekly strategy where you go through the week. You have to focus on certain things, defense, the run, pass, or QB scramble. Also on offense, you're going to run inside, pass outside, throw it short, throw it deep. And those are the game plans that you have to play defense against, or you want to run your offense against. And it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out because now we're having a situation where you have to strategize. This is literally almost 20 years in the making where when we wanted to see this on on Madden. They kind of dibbling down with the weekly type of thing where you did certain schemes or whatever before the game starts, but this is going to be it's going to be expounded on exponentially. It's going to be really big. I'm going to read this real quick. It says a big improvement this year is how expansion how game plan focus carries over into the game. Last year you get a small rating boost. This year each will focus on very specific pros and cons on how the AI will play in game. So in the example above, which was shown in the article, where we're talking about defending the pass, the pros that are your defenders are going to get a boost in man and zone coverage. Well, that's kind of the same how it was already. All right, I'm not gonna get too much, and that's kind of already what it was already. So I'm not really worried too much about that. Let's see. This is really interesting. This is something that was taken from NFL 2K5 as well. Practice intensity and player reps. For practice intensity, you choose how hard you want the team to practice this week. Either means full pads or half pads. Okay, so full pads or half pads, it depends on how you want to do that. Full pads will give a higher XP boost, but will lessen the fatigue recovery, so they'll be and have a chance for practice injuries. Okay, that's interesting. Practice injuries. Practice injuries is a new feature where there's a setting that to turn on practice injuries off if you choose. Okay, there's no long-term injuries from practice. Most are only a week long, which is interesting. I can get that because you don't want to have a practice injury that can really screw everything up. But in the reality of things, that do happen. So I don't know how that's going to play out. Player reps. Let's see, daily fatigue recovery. That's pretty interesting. So they're finally putting this type of stuff in the game. Season engine. Let's see, they have 30 storylines, some cinematics, press conferences, GM office. Okay, we know about that. The locker room. Okay, the locker room is a little bit different. Actor goals. I'll get into that later. Temporary boosts and nerfs. Permanent attribute tools, superstar X factor activation. So that's coming back. We talked about all of that. Franchise hub. Finally, one thing I do like, they got it to where you can get your stats right away. And the stats are really good to see because they were so hard to find those stats when you were in the franchise mode before. It was a situation to where you had to dig really deep, go through this tile and that tile to get to the actual stats. Now they're saying it's going to be in the forefront. Overall, I think Madden franchise is improved big time. And I think it's improved to the point where it's going to be fun for a lot of people who are trying to get a good franchise experience in the football realm. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm going to be playing it day one. I'm probably going to be streaming it as usual. So you guys will be on the lookout for that. I'm really, really excited about that. If you have any thoughts on any of this stuff, let me know in the comment section or just call in. The number is 803-767-4242. The line is always open for you guys to give me your thoughts and opinions. Also, I want to get into this before I get into the SEC. I've noticed that well, I ain't say I noticed that I have been streaming. I streamed last night and the stream was pretty fun. I really enjoyed that. Played a little bit of Dead Space, and Dead Space was actually fun to play. And I didn't realize how fun that game was. That's on my Twitch channel. You can go to Twitch, type in VF Baller. I should pop right on up. And it's always a good thing, if you guys go over there and decide to check out my streams. If you decide to go and watch any of my streams, that'd be awesome. I really, really appreciate that. If you haven't already, click the like button, share this, let people know what I'm doing over here. And if you want to call in, like I said, the number is 803-767-4242. I think I got that mixed up last week. I said 762-4242. And that was my bad on my part. Shout out to everybody on the Patreon. You guys are awesome. Got their names scrolling right over here on the far end of the screen. If you want to check out the Patreon, the link is down in it. It should be down in the description. If not, I will put it there. So therefore you guys could check that out as well. And got a lot of extra content over there for you guys to check out. Also, it's going to be an extra episode of this over there, and it's going to be some behind the scenes content where I just will make a video or I will just stream and you guys could come through and we'll just have a regular talk and conversation. So hopefully you guys will be able to check that out. Let's get into this SEC situation. SEC is possibly expanding. Texas and Oklahoma has been trying to get out of the Big 12 for over a year now, which is really interesting. And I'm surprised they want to go to the SEC because I don't know about Oklahoma and Texas. I think they should be okay in the SEC. Those are two big prominent programs and two of the bigger programs in the country. And with that being said, they should fit right in as far as prestige and talent. And I think they'll be okay. But what does this do for the conference itself? Let's see. Let me see if I can pull it up. All right. What this will do, I think Texas will go to the SEC East, Oklahoma will go to the SEC West, and or if they keep it that way, it could be a situation where it be 4 teams per division. And I think Mike Conti, shout out to Mike Conti on Twitter. He put this out here to where it could be a scenario, and I want to follow his scenario and see what you guys think. I may try to pull this up on the screen so you guys can see it. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see real quick. And for the guys who are just listening, I will explain this in a second, let you guys know what I'm talking about, because let's see, I think this is it right here. Okay, here it is right here. Let me see if I can let me see if I can pull this up. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. All right, right there on the screen. Let me see if I can pull that up so it could be higher. All right, I don't know if y'all can see that, but I'm gonna try to blow it up for you guys so you guys can see it. All right, can y'all guys see that? If not, that's okay. I'll read it out there to you guys so you guys can see it. Let me know if you guys can see that. If not, we'll just go at it and I'll just talk about it right here and I'll let you guys know. All right, there we go. All right, basically what this is saying right here is that the division will change up like this. You will have Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, South Carolina in one division. And the other division, the Mid-East division, we have Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt. The Midwest division will be Arkansas, LSU, Mississippi, and Mississippi State. And in the West, it looks like Oklahoma and Texas will still be on in that division, which will be pretty cool. Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, Texas A&M. So that will be the divisions right there. And I don't see an issue with this. It won't blow up. It doesn't blow. Well, that's fine. It's probably as big as it's gonna get, and that's fine. And so that's what we're looking at. I think this would be pretty cool if Oklahoma and Texas do decide to jump over to the SEC. Look like they've been wanting to get over here, and that look like that's probably like the most viable situation. Instead of having 2 8-team divisions, you have 4 divisions with 4 teams, and to me that looks very ideal if it plays out that way. I'm definitely here for that if that's the case. So you will definitely continue to have Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and Kentucky. The rivalries between Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina will still be intact because they're in the division. They're going to have to play each other. Auburn, Alabama is going to be a rivalry that's going to still be there. Tennessee, Vanderbilt, I think that's a rivalry, but hey, that should work out either way because they're in the same state. Arkansas, LSU, I think Alabama, LSU, I think that's going to be a protected rivalry. They're going to play every year. Mississippi State, the Egg Bowl, that's definitely going to be there, just like the Iron Bowl with Auburn, Alabama. Oklahoma, Texas, Texas A&M. Texas A&M rivalry will be renewed again, so that's great. Texas, Oklahoma, that's going to be there. Missouri, I don't know who their rival is, but still, hey, that's it's going to fit for them geographically to be in the West. So I'm here for all of this. I'm here for this. I think this is going to work out just fine. And shout out to Mike Conti for putting this together. I don't know if this is going to be the gospel. I don't know if this is going to play out that way. But I'm here for this if that's the case. I'm here for this. And I'm really excited to see if this plays out. Now, let's look at the other ramifications. Let's look at the other ramifications. Baby, coming downstairs. Let's look at the ramifications if this decide to happen. What happens to Baylor? What happens to Kansas State? What happens to everybody else in the Big 12? A lot of people saying Baylor could go to the Pac-12. A lot of people saying that Kansas could go to possibly the Mountain West or whatever. There's a lot of situations where These teams could be moving. Kansas could probably go to the Big Ten. West Virginia could probably go to the ACC. It's a lot of moving and shaking that could happen. What will happen to the Big 12? The Big 12 could be in a situation to where they the Big 12 could be in a situation to where they have they basically have nobody there. Rice, SMU, Houston. I'm not calling them nobodies, but it could be a situation to where they have nobody there, as far as talent wise. So I'm really interested to see how that plays out. What's going to happen with them? I don't really know, but it's going to be something to behold, because at the end of the day, we're looking at we're looking at a big shakeup within college football. Also saw a situation with all these teams could be gobbled up and it end up being a Power Four with the SEC, ACC, Pac-12, and the Big Ten. Like all these teams end up having 16 teams apiece, and they all will end up to where they have nobody. They have everybody in the Power Four. Big 12 be no more, or the Big 12 will end up being a part of the Group of 6 instead of the Group of 5. So I don't know how that's going to play out overall, if these guys decide to move over to the SEC. Like I said, that's just going to be a big shakeup on everything. Everything's going to be a big shakeup. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys are still here listening, I'm not looking at the numbers. I don't know who's here. If you guys are here, that'd be awesome. The number is 803-767-4242. You guys could call in and let me know what you guys think. Whatever the case may be. Shout out to everybody who's been here so far. Shout out to everybody who's been hitting the like button, people who've been sharing, letting people know what I'm doing over here. You guys are absolutely awesome. And like I said, with everything going on, training camp, Madden NFL, the franchise mode, SEC probably moving some pieces around to get people on their in their conference. It looks like it's going to be a really exciting time for football. It looks like it's going to be a big, exciting time for football, and I'm really waiting to see how that's going to play out. And I'm going to be really, really excited once football season starts. I don't know when the SEC is going to have this whole situation move around, where Texas and Oklahoma and move around for yeah, we're going to get your truck later, baby. Just give me a second. He want to bring his truck up here. My son is so awesome. I'll bring it up here when I'm done, baby. And it's going to be really exciting. The whole SEC situation is probably going to happen within the next I'll say the earliest 3 years from now. I don't see them moving right away unless money is really, really involved. And if that's the case, they can move people as fast as next season. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but we'll see. As far as NFL, Madden NFL, Madden is going to be pretty good. I think Madden is going to play out pretty well when it comes to the actual franchise mode. The gameplay has been pretty good since Madden 21. Actually, Madden 20 wasn't that bad either. I think it's just going to be good enough to be playable. Between that and the franchise mode, I think there's going to be a situation where it's going to be it's going to be really interesting and fun to play. NFL training camp, that's going to be par for the course. You're going to have NFL training camp to where players are going to be ready to play despite all the stuff that's off the field. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see where they go. I'm really excited at the end of the day. Why my son is crying, I don't know what's going on. He is pretty distraught about his truck. I will get that up there later. I know he really wants to play with it. Now we'll get it to him shortly. Maybe Mama can get it for him. Maybe she will. So that's pretty much going to be it for me in the show. I don't have much to actually add to that. I usually like to go an hour, maybe 2 hours when it comes to the show. And I would like to get people to call in. I know people are probably busy. They can't call in right now. But definitely, if the lines are always open while the show is live, the number is 803-767-4242. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I talk about Georgia Southern, Atlanta Falcons football throughout the week. Throw a little bit of gaming in there. I'm gonna be adding some gaming to the show or to the channel more because I haven't done that in a while, and it's really interesting to see the feedback when I do put that up because a lot of people tend to like it. I just haven't had time to do so, but I will add it into what I'm doing here. Definitely will do that. Well, that's pretty much going to be it for me. If you like it, like I said, hit the like button. Shout out to everybody who's been supporting. If you want to share it. Once again, if you want to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to step up on out of here. Don't have anybody calling in. Well, that's cool. And I'll be back next Sunday. And you guys will hopefully will come back and join me. Next week, I'll be adding on to what I'm doing over here. Throughout the week, I do videos and also have videos on my VFcast channel. And I put content on the Patreon. So I will see you guys then. You guys be easy. You guys take care. Be blessed. Peace.